to 23. David struggled. In the spring, at the time when king kings go off to war, David sent Joab out with the king's men and the whole Israelite army. They destroyed the Amorites and beside Rabbi. But David remembered in Jerusalem. One evening, David got up from his bed and walked around on the roof of the palace. From the roof, he saw a woman bathing. Then woman was very beautiful, and David sent someone to find out about her. The man said, "She is Bathsheba, the daughter of Elamah, and wife of Uriah and Hittite." When David sent messengers to get her, she came to him and he slept with her. Now she was purifying herself from her monthly uncleanness. Then, when, then she went back home. The woman conceived and sent his word to David, saying, "I am pregnant." So David sent his words to Joab, "Send me Uriah the Hittite." And Joab sent him to David. When Uriah came to him, David asked him how Joab was how the soldiers were and how the war was going on. Then, then David said, "Uriah, go down to your house and wash your feet." So Uriah left the palace, and a gift from the king was sent after him. But Uriah slept at the entrance to the palace, with all his master's servants, and did not go down to his house. David was told Uriah did not go home, so he asked Uriah, "Haven't you just come from a military uh, campaign? Military camp? Why did you go home? Why didn't you go home?" Uriah said to David, "The ark and Israel and Judah are staying in tents, and my commander Joab and my lord men are camped in the open country. How could I go to my house to eat and drink and make love to my wife? As surely as you live, I will not do such a thing." Then David said to him, "Stay here one more day, and tomorrow I will send you back." So Uriah remained in Jerusalem that day and the next. At David's invitation, he ate and drank with him. But David made him drunk. When in the evening Uriah went out to sleep on his mat among his master's servants, he did not go home. In the morning, David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it with Uriah. In it, he wrote, "Put Uriah out in front where the fighting is fiercely, then withdraw from him so he will be struck down and die." So while Joab had the city under siege, he put Uriah at a place where he knew the strongest defenders were. Then the men of the city came out and fought against Joab. Some of the men in David's army fell over. Moreover, Uriah the Hittite died. Joab sent David a full account of the battle. He instructed the messenger, "When you have finished giving the king this, account of the battle, the king's anger may flare up, and he may ask you, why did you get so close to the city to fight? Didn't you know that they would shoot arrows from the walls? So killed who killed Amalek, Amalek, son of Jurabisha? Yeah. Didn't a woman drop an upper millstone on him and from the wall, so that he died in the Thebes? Why did you get so close to the wall? If he asks you this, then say to him, moreover, your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead. The messenger sent out, and when he arrived, he told David everything Joab had sent him to say. The messenger said to David, the men overpowered us and came out against us in the open, but we drove them back into the entrance of the city gate. David told the messenger, say this to Joab, don't let this upset you. The sword devours one as well as another. Press this, press the attack against the city and destroy it. Say this is to say this to encourage Joab. When Uriah's wife heard that her husband is dead, she mourned for him. After the time of mourning was over, David had her brought to his house, and she became his wife and bore him a son. But the things David had done displeased the Lord. Okay, we're going to read the meaning now. Winter is a raining season in Israel, the time when the crops are planted. Spring was a good time to go to war because the roads were dry, making travel easier for troops, movement, supplies, wa- wagons, wagons, and chariots. In Israel, wheat and barley were ready to be harvested in the spring. These crops were important for source of food for traveling. In the episode with Bathsheba, David al- allowed himself to fall deeper and deeper into sin. David abandoned his purpose by staying home from the war. He focused on his own desires. When temptation came to look into it instead of turning away from it, he sinned deliberately. He tried to cover up his sin by deceiving others. He committed murder to continue the cover up. Eventually, David's sin was exposed and punished, and, punished. The, the consequences of David's sin were far reaching, affecting many others. David could not have chosen to stop and turn from evil at all um, at any stage alone. The way, but once sin gets started, it is difficult to stop. The deeper the mess, the less we want to admit having caused it. It's much easier to stop sliding down a hill when you are near the top than when you are halfway down. The best solution is to stop sin before it starts. Seen Bathsheba profile. That's it. Just for 11:3. See Bathsheba. As David looked from the roof of the palace, he saw a beautiful woman bathing, and he was filled with lust. David should have left the roof and fled the temptation instead of entertaining and temptation by inquiring about Bathsheba. The results were devastating. To flee temptation, ask God in earnest prayers to help you stay away from people, places, places, and situations that may tempt you. Memorize the med, meter, med, meditate on portion of scriptures that combat your specific weakness. At the roots of most temptation is a real need or desire that God can fill, but we must trust in His timing. From another believers with whom you can openly share your struggles and call this person for help when temptation strikes. The phrase "she was purifying herself from her monthly uncleanness" means that Bathsheba had just completed the purification rite following menstruation. David responded to Uriah, Uriah's death seemed to flip what to flip hands and insensitive while he was grieving while he grieved deeply for Saul and Abner, his rival. He showed no grief for Uriah, a good man with strong spiritual character. Why? David became powerless to his own sin, when only way he could cover up his first sin was to sin again, and soon he no longer felt guilty for what he had done. Feelings are not right, right, reliable guides for determining right and wrong. Confess your wrong actions to God before we forget they sin. Oh well, we were done readings and have a good day.